Hey y'all. Alright, so it's Vlogmas Day 22. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Mental health. Mental health in the Black community needs to be addressed 100%. As someone who struggles with mental health and who has had periods of time where the unalive is real and it's knocking on my door, we need to talk about it. We need to sit down and have a conversation about why this is such a thing. Like, why is it normal for Black people to not find a therapist, or to just, if someone is obviously showing signs of needing mental health, that we then don't help them? We tell them figure it out. We tell them that, they're too young to feel that way. They're too young to think that way. Why is that common? Or we tell them to pray it away. And I'm not knocking anyone's religion. I don't believe in knocking anyone's religion. No matter what you believe, why is the option to pray away how they're feeling? Because at the end of the day, mental health can't be prayed away. Mental health can't be ignored. Mental illnesses, they don't go away. They stay with you. They get progressively worse if they're not addressed. If they're not handled in a timely manner, they get worse and worse and worse. They get so bad that you don't know who you are anymore. You just become a shell of who you were because you're dealing with so much and you never address it. We got to address it. It's way too many Black women out there. And I'm going to specifically talk about Black women because, again, that's who I am. That's what I am. So I'm going to speak on the premise of me also being a Black woman and also fitting into this community. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. My ring light just acting crazy. But where is I? Yeah, let's talk about it. Black women especially, we tend to have these behaviors that I truly feel, and from discussing with my therapist, that it's just coping. It's just terrible coping mechanisms that we don't realize are coping mechanisms because we aren't taught that. We're taught that exactly what we're doing is what we should be doing. But we're taught wrong. We tend to see all these women who are working tirelessly, effortlessly to just become successful in the way that society told them they should be successful, or in the way that their mom told them, or their aunt told them, or their grandma told them that they should be successful. And again, I'm only going to address, from the Black woman's perspective, because again, that's who I am. And these are also my opinions. So, if you have a different opinion, let me know. Like, I love to discuss mental health, and I love to make it known that I am an advocate for mental health, and I am an advocate for Black women seeking the help that they need. So one of the biggest coping mechanisms I see is that we tend to work ourselves to death. Literally, work ourselves to death. And what I mean by that is, if you're taught that if you're tired, if you're stressed, if you're going through anything, that you shouldn't be tired. The grind never ends. It never stops. You don't take a break. You continue on. If you're tired for work, take an energy drink. Drink it. Move on. You don't have time. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not working hard enough. Because if you were working harder and working faster and doing much better, you wouldn't be overwhelmed. That's not true. None of that is true. All of it is absolutely false. You can be tired. You can be stressed. You can be overwhelmed. And you can also what? Be depressed. Let's talk about it. I'll just give you some insight on me. And this is going to get a little bit personal, but it is what it is. So, growing up, I was always a super smart kid. I would make straight A's, no problem. I could miss half the year of school and still would pass with just flying colors. It didn't matter. I can catch on. It didn't take time. But I also struggled with my behavior. I was not a good kid. I can remember literally as early as third grade being suspended for half the school year. Half the school year. So much so that my teacher literally wanted to fail me because of just my attendance. Not because of my grades, not because of me not learning. It's because I wasn't there. I was suspended for my behavior. That lasted from third grade all the way through high school. My behavior never was corrected. Like, my behavior never was addressed. And for me, looking back on that, I can see now that I struggled so hard with tons of this. Like, I just needed mental help. Like, I just needed someone to see that I am calling out as a child. But it wasn't, because my grades are good. So I'm obviously just bad. I'm just a bad kid. But I'm a smart kid. but I'm just bad. I don't listen. I don't like these people, you know? It was always some excuse for, you know, my behavior without anyone taking time to understand my behavior. All right, let me go back. Someone did try to understand my behavior. Her name was Miss Woods. She was a teacher that I had around 5th grade. I remember her so vividly. Like, I remember every single thing about her. And, you know, she was strong on mental health. Like, she struggled with mental health before she became a teacher. And it was one of those things that she immediately noticed and picked up on. It got so much so to where, you know, we would hang out on a weekend time. She would come get me from my house so we could hang out. After school, she would make sure I was okay. Like, she would talk to me. If I'm having a rough day in class, she would pull me out so we can talk because she realized the signs that I was going through. She was the one who tried to reach out to my school counselor to be like, hey, you know, I think there's a little bit more going on here than just someone who's just bad or someone who doesn't like people. As I aged, you know, and as I saw therapists, I got diagnosed. Ultimately, I have mental illnesses from bipolar disorder, depression, PTSD, you know, anxiety. I have these things. And, you know, it's just, if these were noticed ahead of time, not if they were noticed, if they were addressed ahead of time. If, you know, the Black people around me took the time to get me evaluated, because there's this stigma that, you know, getting your child evaluated is something so hateful and so just pitiful. Who wants to be Black and has to identify as mentally ill? Your family doesn't want that. Your family doesn't want anyone to know that. So what they're going to do is they're going to ignore it. They're going to whoop you. They're going to beat you. They're going to sit. They're going to fix your behavior. They're going to take you to church. They're going to pray about it. They're going to tell the whole congregation that you have all these things going on, and they're all going to come together and magically put everything away. It doesn't happen. So that became a thing for me. Like, I grew up and, you know, I don't blame, like I said, I don't blame any of the Black women around me because it's generational. Like, it's generational to ignore these things and not pick up on these signs. And, you know, as a child, I'm one of 5 kids at my mom's house. Like, I'm one of many. Having to give individual attention, individual time to someone as needy as me would have been extremely draining on my mom. Would have been so far out of what she's able to do that it would have been ridiculous for me to even want that. And even still thinking back now, I still wouldn't have wanted her to go through that type of stress of trying to make sure I get to the appointments I need, get the medication I need, talk to the people I need, get all the psychologists and psychiatrists that I need in my life, get me the therapists, get me the counselors. It would have been too much on her. And I don't blame her. But I say all that to say, we have to realize when we're struggling. We have to realize when we are having this and when to seek help. If you, no sir. Sorry about that. If you start to be over-sexual, why are you just overly sexual? Like, what is going on that you want to crave someone to physically, you know, touch you or do these things with you? Like, what is it? Is it truly that you're attracted to them? Or is mindlessly having sex coping for you? Is, you know, fighting somebody coping for you? Is going out every single weekend, every single day even, coping for you? Is having 2 jobs so you always stay busy coping for you? And they probably are just coping mechanisms because, again, back to what I said earlier, you're not allowed to be tired. You're not allowed to be overwhelmed. You're not allowed to be depressed. You're supposed to be able to manage. As a Black woman, you are the strong Black woman. Strong Black woman. You never get tired. You have too much to do. But how does it feel to have everything falling on you? And it's hard. And for anyone who even remotely sees this video and thinks that you indeed just need a tad bit of help, get it. Seek it. Seek it. Like, Black girl therapy, like there's so much that goes into mental health and Black women that needs to be taken care of. There's too many Black women who struggle every single day, and we are allowed to ignore them. I'll use someone I know. She is very precious to me. I love her with all my heart. She drinks heavy. Every single weekend, drinking. Every single night, drinking. She has a child, drinks. Doesn't matter. Is that child taken care of? Yes. The child is still 100% taken care of. Just wants for nothing. But is she depressed? Yes. Is she coping by drinking? Yes. Are her friends the same way? Yes. They all cope by drinking. They drink away their sorrow, drink away their feelings. There's no reason that, the last thing you see of them is, what is that? Patron. Just Patron, and then it's full at 7 o'clock. It's empty by 7:30, and they say they're going to bed at 8. They drunk themselves to sleep because they can't cope. And it's moments like that I wish that we were able to understand that we need help and to seek that help. At that moment, I wish that it was enough understanding of mental health and mental illness in the Black community that we did seek help. Now, we're not going to sit here, we're not going to talk about all the things that are, wrong as far as mental health. We're going to talk about ways that we can go ahead and tackle this. Like, let's tackle this once and for all. Talk to your family. Hold up. Let's rewind. Understand when you have toxic family, they may not be the best people to talk to. And that's also a thing. That's also part of the mental health stigma. They're toxic. They're very toxic. They think nothing that they do is wrong. They want to hide the pedophile. They want to hide the misogynist uncle. They want to continue to shelter all these people. Meanwhile, you're suffering and you're dying inside. Talk to somebody. Call them a hotline. Like, I'll leave links below that you can seek help from to talk to somebody for free. Just call them up and just state that you need help. You just need an ear. There's even somewhere you can text them and just be like, I just need somebody to listen to me. They're listening with an unbiased ear. And that's honestly one of the best ears to have. And if you're not a talkative person, or if you don't like to openly communicate about how you feel, which is a learning curve in of itself, write it out. I would rather write a note to someone expressing all my feelings and what I'm going through, because I feel like I have better control over everything if I'm able to write it down. I can understand better if I'm able to write it down. And I do that. I'll write it down and I'll hand that letter over to them and be like, this is how I'm feeling. And do I want to talk about it after? No. Write me back. Write me back, because I can't physically talk about that. Otherwise, I'm going to break down and I'm going to shut down. Write it out. If you can't talk it, write it. If writing doesn't feel like an option for you, I ask for you to find a hobby that openly allows for you to relax. And what I mean by that is, don't find a hobby that'll consume you so much that you can't even breathe, you can't catch your breath. Don't do that, because all you're doing is you're running. Find a hobby that still allows you to concentrate on how you're feeling. If you're an artist, draw it out, paint it, sculpt it, sculpt what you're feeling into your piece, because it still allows for you to get out how you're feeling and not bottle it up inside so much so that you become this void. And I don't want to get off topic, but trust me when I say you can become your depression. Like, you can become your own crutch. Like, you become your own illness. You become so entangled with these mental illnesses that you don't know who you are anymore. Like, for at least a solid year, I was a shell. I didn't enjoy life. I didn't enjoy living. I woke up and went to work because I had to. Because I had enough hope to stay on just a tad bit longer, and that was it. But I was a shell. I wasn't me. No one noticed. So it's just, don't become that person. And I know that's so hard, but don't let your mental illness and what you're going through engulf you. Once it does, it's hard to escape. You start to dig yourself so far into this hole that you start to wear the walls smooth because you've scratched so much to get out of it that you just can't anymore. It is who you are. You are eternally stuck until you start to truly chisel away at it and truly find help. And help can be a dog, a cat, a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a sister, a brother. Help can be completely unrelated to you. Help can be joining a group. Help can be venting in a group where these people know nothing about you and getting the advice that you so desperately need. That can be help. And I want everybody to get help. I personally feel, this is a personal opinion, I feel that every single Black person should see a therapist. You should. Because there's somewhere down the line in that generational trauma pathway that you have gotten something, or you're dealing with something in a way that you shouldn't be. Whether that's in being so outwardly aggressive that you're willing to fight anybody, or so quiet and in yourself that you're hurting yourself because you were raised to care more about how your mom feels than how you feel. You were raised to hold her emotions so strongly and so tightly that you're not even able to address your own. And I can go on and on about this topic, but since I don't want this to turn into a long rant, and I wrote down my notes and I'm starting to veer off topic, and I don't want to, I'm going to end this here by saying, please, 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 please seek help. And I know that's easier said than done. Even having to pick up my phone when I was at the point where I couldn't go anymore, even having to share that was one of the toughest things I ever had to do, because I already had a plan. When I left my house, I knew I did not want to come back. And I knew I was not going to come back. I had a plan in motion by the time I left my house, what I was going to do. But I sat there and I picked up my phone and I texted. I was like, hey, I need help. I need help. And I don't regret it. Like, I don't. Yeah, I'm so crying. I don't regret sending that message to say that I need help. I don't regret asking for help. I don't regret having to sit in the hospital because I know I need it. I don't regret it. And it was one of the hardest things I had to do in my life. But I did. And I'm able to sit here today. Like, I'm alive today because I picked up the phone. And I didn't just text some random person. I text somebody who I knew would take it seriously. And we all try to avoid that person. We all know that person who's going to be like, fine, I'm calling the police. You're going to the hospital. We all know that one person who's not going to joke about our mental health. And we openly avoid that person. Don't avoid that person. Talk to them. Because chances are they've been where you are at, or they've seen it with their own eyes and they truly understand. So please, 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 please reach out. Talk to somebody. Write it down. Get a hobby. Seek a therapist. As the holiday seasons roll around and continue to be in full force, we all are going to have to deal with childhood trauma and triggers. We need to go remove yourself from the situation. If you are able to, write it down in your notes. If you are able to, cry it out. If you are able to, like, we have to do it. If you're not in a position to bring all of that to light, then don't. If you're not at the point in your life where you're able to, it's okay. You will get there and you can get there. But don't give up on yourself and don't give up on your mental health. And I say all of this to say you are still a strong Black woman and you still can be one. It takes more strength to get the help you need than it does to continue to hold on to our terrible coping skills. And I want everybody to do that. Like, I want you to get what you need when you need it in a positive way. Sorry that's a heavy load right before like Christmas and all, but I want you guys to be better. I want all of us to be better and to do better, and I know we can do it. So I am wishing everybody the best of luck when it comes to their mental health. And I hope just even listening to me talk about, truly feeling what I feel and understanding the trauma that, goes with generational trauma, that you see that you can find a way out. There is a way out. And hey, if you just want somebody to talk to, or if you feel like you need somebody to listen to, my Instagram is Jada De'sha. Same as, here. Reach out to me. DM me. Let's tackle this together. Let's go on this journey together and try and overcome what we're feeling and tackle all of it. So I want to say I love you guys. And I want to say thank you so much for watching. And, if you want more mental health series, I'll probably call it Green Chair Chat because I'm in my green chair. If you want more mental health series and you want to discuss mental health a little bit further, or for me to be more specific in, things that I see, talking to my therapist, and just being part of Black mental health communities, let me know. Like, let me know if you want this to become a series. I think I want to make it a series anyway. Mental health series. All right, so I think I want to do that. But again, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, do whatever. Like, do the whole thing. Let me know if you struggle with mental health down low. Let me know if you want to talk more in depth about it. If you want me to go more in depth about, things that I see as far as generational traumas. Like, I can make a whole video on just generational traumas alone. Let's talk about it. So, all right, I'm rambling now. I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.